we are talking about is Invisalign. Now, if you're considering clear aligners, or you're being told you need them like I was, I'd like to share with you my story so I can answer some questions that you might have, like
What even are clear aligners? They are a metal braces alternative made from a strong specialty plastic that are molded to your teeth to fit comfortably in your mouth. As you make progress, you will switch out of aligners into new ones that make slight adjustments each time until you get your final aligner with your desired result. Soon I'll have a video showing how I put my aligners in and how I take them out, as well as some tips to help you make the most of your aligners and possibly speed up your process.
when I first heard about Invisalign, I had no idea what to expect. In my particular situation, I wasn't looking for aesthetic. I was fine with my teeth. Though my hygienist showed me what the problem was and why they were suggesting it. My teeth on top were grinding with my bottom teeth, causing the enamel to weaken. I was in danger of losing my bottom teeth. So after years of them telling me I needed to set up at least a consultation, is it free? Okay. I set up a consultation finally. Maybe you're in the same situation. Maybe you've been told you need to at least seek out a consultation. Here's what to expect. You go to an orthodontist. In my case, the ortho was the same doctor as my dentist. So I already knew them, which was great. If you're not so lucky, I do suggest you do some research and look into your ortho and make sure they're a good fit for you. Now, at your consultation, they will scan your teeth. They will take a remote looking device that's attached to a big monitor and stick it in your mouth and move it all around. I won't lie, it's a little uncomfortable, but when it's done, you get a 3D image of what your teeth look like now and what they could look like when you finish your Invisalign treatment. Here's what mine looked like. Right here. I don't know that I was supposed to take that picture, but I did. Here, you'll get your expectation of how long it will take. Some cases, you might only need your bottom, or you might only need your top. Especially if you had braces at a younger age, you might not need as an extensive treatment as I did. So your story may be different from mine. In my case, I needed top and bottom, and I was told I would need it for 1 year. As I mentioned, it was a lot longer than that. Now, you'll get to meet your ortho. It is important that you get to know your ortho and really make sure you're on the same page. It's not common for you to switch orthos between visits. What I mean by that is, if you're coming back every month, every 3 months, they will schedule you based on your ortho, not based on your availability. So it is important to make sure you're with someone you trust and get along with. Someone that's willing to listen. It's not an easy thing to gauge right off the bat when you first meet someone. I get that. But you can get a sense of, do they listen? Are they asking me questions? And are they answering the questions I'm asking? Another thing that you'll get covered during your consultation is the cost. For me, there was an upfront cost and there was a cost if I paid monthly in installments. I promise. I will tell you what the cost of my treatment was. I'm going to save that for the end of the video. I don't want to distract you from the treatment because I want you to gauge the treatment based off of the information you hear, not so much the money. Money can be a big factor in this, absolutely, understandable. But there is a health factor that you need to take into consideration if you're thinking, maybe I'm not ready for this. In my case, I was 30 years old when I chose to take on the Invisalign journey. And what I discovered later is that the older you are, the harder it is for things to move around, which might be part of the reason why it took so long for my Invisalign treatment. Who's to say? Now that your consultation is over and you've decided to take on Invisalign, what do you expect? It'll be about 3 to 4 weeks before you receive your very first trays. What are trays? This is a tray. A tray can be an upper tray or a bottom tray, and they will be numbered for which week you're using them. So you went through with it and you waited your 3 to 4 weeks. You're back at your ortho. What is your first appointment like? Well, they sit you down and they do what's called a fitting. They're going to take your very first set of trays and they're going to stick it up your top and on your bottom. What does that feel like? I compared it to vampire teeth. You know, the fake vampire teeth that, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That's what it felt like. They kind of suction up to your teeth and It feels weird and very uncomfortable. And when you're putting them on, sometimes your cheeks get caught up in your teeth. It's weird. I'm here to tell you what to expect, right? I'm just gonna be honest. It's weird. Once they've confirmed that these first trays are going to fit you, they're going to go ahead and put in what's called attachments, or you might also hear them refer to them as buttons. Buttons or attachments are small resin dots that they will attach to multiple teeth on your top and bottom rows of teeth. And you will actually see that reflected on your trays. You will see bumps on your trays. Now there are multiple videos on YouTube that I recommend you watch that will show you what buttons do, but essentially they're placed in specific spots on your teeth to make sure they apply pressure and either turn, pull, or push teeth into the correct place. It's actually pretty interesting. You should check it out. It might actually be uncomfortable when you take your Invisalign out to have those buttons rubbing against the inside of your cheek. Make sure you ask your ortho if they don't already advise it for a little bit of wax. You put just a little bit of wax at the end of a button, and that actually makes it a little bit of a smoother surface for your cheek until the inside of your mouth gets used to it. The discomfort will go away. You will get used to it, I promise. Now, something I didn't expect, that I didn't see on any videos, and my doctor didn't even bring it up initially, is that you can actually have rubber bands with your Invisalign. How does that work? So your Invisalign will actually be designed to have a space for the attachment if this is the case. So here you can see a little notch on the back molar, and on this tray you can see a little hook. In my case, the rubber band went from my back molar to the hook on the Invisalign. That was a long 50 weeks. Not trying to scare you, just making sure you know that's a possibility. You might end up needing rubber bands. I've actually seen people have multiple rubber bands during their Invisalign treatment. Like everything I'm telling you, you get used to it. It's not that big a deal, and it's worth it. What the rubber band does is it pulls things down a little bit quicker. In my case, my upper row of teeth have a slight slant. Well, now it's a slight slant. Before Invisalign, it was a big slant. And having that rubber band pulled down on my teeth to get them closer to my bottom teeth, which was already setting straight. It's a little complicated, but it worked. So your first visit, you got to fit your first set of trays. You got your attachments or buttons put on some of your teeth, and they send you home. What now? In my case, I had 2 weeks of the first set of trays that I received, and then 2 more weeks of the next set of trays I received. I was back at the ortho in 4 weeks. This is going to be a common occurrence. Every time you need new trays, they will set you up for a certain amount of weeks, and they will tell you use this many trays for 2 weeks each, and then use this many trays for 1 week each. After my first 2 trays, I was able to go from 2 weeks per tray to 1 week per tray. That worked out nicely. I had a schedule. I changed them every Tuesday because that's when I saw my ortho, and that went on for the first 50 weeks. So what do you expect for your very first month of using Invisalign? Well, you get this fancy starter kit, user care and instructions, fancy little black box. You didn't know this was an unboxing video, did you? All right, and there you have it. Fancy box, a booklet, your first case, and cleaning crystals. I actually have a plan for a future video on how I clean my Invisalign and all of the accessories that I bought that helped me through my Invisalign journey. It's not something I can cover in today's video, but it is a planned video for the future. If that's something you're interested in, leave a comment down below, leave a like on the video. That'll help me know that you're interested in more information on Invisalign. So that's the welcome kit that they send you home with. In the future, they might send you home with bags and bags and bags of trays. This is what your trays come in. These little Ziploc bags. Why did I keep them? Because I always planned on making this video. Pretty much the only reason. Now your first month of Invisalign is ahead of you. What can you expect then? I will tell you, there will be discomfort. There will be a lot of pain and headaches. You might even experience some weight loss. Why? Your teeth are doing things that will affect your sinuses and affect your muscles and your jaw, the way you talk. You're changing the way you live your life, whether you realize it or not. When you have Invisalign, they promote you actually can eat whatever you want, whenever you want. But you need to take them off before every meal. If you're going to drink anything, it should be water or a clear liquid. You don't want to stain or damage the trays. but also anything you eat or drink that gets stuck in your tray can damage your teeth. Think of it as how a cavity can happen. Over time, it breaks down the enamel and so forth. If you have a tray that has soda or food particles stuck right up against your teeth and you don't take it out or clean them until the end of the night, you're doing damage to your teeth. It takes a strict discipline to make sure that you're doing your Invisalign justice. You're spending all this money and all this time. Make sure you do it right. Now, what do you do about the discomfort or pain? They suggest taking aspirin if you're up for that. I did. Why do you experience weight loss? Well, you're not eating as often because you have to go through the tedious process of taking them off, eating, flossing, brushing your teeth, putting them back on. You might actually eat less. When I first got them, I skipped lunch altogether. For about a month, I was very hangry. A tip, when you change your trays, change them at night, just before bed. For me, I changed them, took 2 aspirin, went to bed. A little uncomfortable, but when I finally knocked out, I woke up and I didn't feel it. There'll be a learning curve like that. Whatever suits your lifestyle. It's going to be difficult to figure out though. Consider you're at work or you're at school, you're at family functions or just your everyday. How do you go about flossing, brushing your teeth after every meal? Maybe some of you already do that, but I know I didn't. It was tedious. Again, I do have some tips for that. I have a future video I'm working on where I'll show you the case I bought with all the little compartments that hold all the accessories that made everything a little bit easier. So stay tuned for that. If you want to make sure you don't miss that video, go ahead and subscribe down below. I'll wait. There you go. And pro tip, always carry your case with you. Now for me, I can't exactly fit my 2 trays in my case. I kind of bend them and maneuver them. I can kind of close it and there we go. That kind of works. I ended up buying a denture case for mine. I'll have an affiliate link in the description below to show you exactly what I used. That's what worked for me. I always carried a case with me, especially if I was at a restaurant or if I was at work. I heard tons of stories where someone put their Invisalign in a napkin, crumbled it up, forgot that it was in there, and tossed it. That's not something you want to happen. But just like everything else I've mentioned for Invisalign, it's all about disciplining yourself, remembering to bring the case, remembering that you have to brush your teeth after every meal. In fact, you'll have to clean your Invisalign after every meal as well. You don't want to put dirty Invisalign back on your teeth. Trust me, that's not going to work either. And you also want to make sure that you're wearing your Invisalign for at least 20 to 22 hours a day. That's the recommended time by Invisalign. Didn't make that up. I was more of an 18-hour-a-day guy. Maybe that's why it took me 3 years. But while you're in this moment, what do I suggest? Speak up. Talk to your ortho. If things feel weird or super uncomfortable, maybe it is something that's normal. Maybe it is something that you should be feeling right now because it is a procedure after all. For example, pressure, discomfort, that stuff is normal. But if for any reason you can't close your mouth or you have trouble chewing, you may have a problem and you do want to talk to your doctor. Be honest and open. Not saying something to your doctor can cost you weeks when they find out later on that you never said something. So make sure you trust your doctor, but also find a balance. Hold them accountable and ask a lot of questions. I did find with my doctor, I had to remind them certain things at certain times, and they see a lot of patients. I understand. But make sure you're doing what you can to protect you and your investment, because after all, it cost me $5,000 for my Invisalign journey. Was it worth it? Yeah, I'd say so. I don't have the smile that I was told I would get. It doesn't look like the picture, but I know I'm healthy. I know that my bottom teeth are protected, and I didn't realize what my teeth looked like before. And they don't look like that now. If there's any takeaway I hope you got from this video, I hope it's that you at least seek out a consultation. Get your consultation. If it's free, do it. See what you could have versus what you do have, and then make an educated decision. So that's what to expect for your first month, maybe even your first 3 months of Invisalign. Do things change down the line? Yes, and I'll cover that in a future video. Now make sure you hit the like button if you want to tell YouTube that you want more of my videos to come your way, and subscribing and hitting the notification bell will make sure that you know when the next video is out. Until next time, bye everyone.